Hey folks, welcome back to Stoic Love Lessons. Let's get brutally honest right now. Picture this. You're that person who's always available, always eager, doing everything you can to capture their attention. You drop everything when they call, bend over backwards to make them happy, and practically throw away your dignity, hoping that somehow they'll recognize your worth. But here's the harsh reality. You're not appearing attractive. Instead, you're coming off as desperate, needy, and like you're constantly seeking approval. And let's face it, no one wants to choose someone who seems to lack control over their emotions, someone who looks ready to give everything away for just a little bit of attention. Desperation doesn't inspire attraction, it pushes people away. It's a tough truth to accept, but the sooner you acknowledge this, the sooner you can stop the behaviors that are driving them away. Imagine being that person, standing by, waiting for a text back, checking your phone every 5 minutes, thinking maybe today is the day they'll finally see you as the one. It's pretty sad, right? This kind of behavior drives people away, not towards you. No one, and I mean no one, is attracted to someone who's always so eager to please, so desperate for validation. You're acting like your entire identity revolves around them, as if you're nothing without their attention. Let me ask you directly, do you find that attractive? Do you want to spend your life with someone who's always begging for your approval, constantly seeking validation, and basically throwing themselves at your feet? No, you wouldn't choose that person. And they aren't choosing you because you're sending the message that your own life doesn't matter. You've become nothing more than background noise, someone they can easily overlook. That's the reality you've been avoiding. You've lost your power, you're acting like you don't matter, and that's exactly why they don't see you as someone worth choosing. So here you are, wondering why they aren't choosing you, why you're not their priority. But let's be honest. It's because you've turned yourself into someone they don't have to prioritize. You've given them everything without making them earn it, making yourself the least attractive option. That's why they're looking elsewhere. It's not because you're not worthy. It's because you've made yourself overly available, needy, and desperate, to the point where they can't see your true value anymore. But listen carefully, because here's the truth. This doesn't mean you're not worth choosing. It doesn't mean you lack value. It means you've been approaching this all wrong. You're making it far too easy for them. People don't respect what they don't have to work for. If you want them to choose you, it's time to stop acting like you need them to complete you. It's time to stop chasing, begging, and waiting for them to notice you. The real way to make them choose you is by showing them that you don't need their validation to know your worth. You have to turn the tables, and that's where Stoicism comes into play. That's what we're going to explore in this video, how to make them choose you, not by chasing after them, but by mastering yourself, by becoming so strong and in control of your own life that they can't help but recognize your value. So go ahead and hit that like button under this video and subscribe for more content like this. Today is the day we stop playing games and take control of who gets to choose us. Now imagine this. You're no longer that person begging for attention. You're the one who commands it. You're so transformed, so confident, so self-assured that people are naturally drawn to you. You don't chase them, they come to you. This isn't a fantasy, this is the power of Stoicism, my friends. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make them choose you without ever having to plead for it. Before we dive deep into this transformation, I want to challenge you right now. You've been playing this game, chasing and begging for their attention, hoping they'll see your worth. But today, I'm asking you to make a decision, a bold, life-altering decision. Are you ready to stop letting them dictate how you feel about yourself? Are you ready to reclaim your power? If so, Affirm with me, I control my value. Say it, believe it, and write it down in the comments. This isn't for them anymore. This is for you. You're not waiting for someone to choose you. You're taking control of your own narrative. Let them see that you're no longer desperate for their approval, because today is the day you claim your worth. Drop that affirmation in the comments and accept the challenge to become the one they are pursuing. So folks, we are going to discuss 7 Stoic techniques that will completely shift the dynamic and make them choose you over anyone else. These aren't cheap tricks or manipulative tactics. These are powerful, proven principles from Stoicism that put you back in control. When you apply these techniques, you're not only going to flip the script in your relationships, but you'll also elevate yourself to a place where your worth is undeniable. Ready to get started? Let's dive right into these transformational steps. Number 1. Embrace Stoic detachment. Let me be very clear with you. The reason they're treating you the way they are, the reason you're not standing out in their eyes, is because of how you've been acting with them. You've been giving too much, showing too much, acting like their attention is the only thing that matters. That's why they're not choosing you. The more you chase, the more you make yourself an option, not a priority. I understand. You think if you just give a little more, show them a little more affection, they'll suddenly wake up and realize how amazing you are. But guess what? It won't happen. Here's where Stoic detachment comes in. This isn't about being cold or shutting off your emotions. It's about managing them. It's about letting go of this desperate need for their validation. When you emotionally detach from their response, you regain your power. People respect and are drawn to those who are in control of themselves, not those constantly begging for attention. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Right now, you need to detach from this overwhelming desire to be chosen by them. Stop craving their approval and start living your life like you don't need it. If you're trying to attract someone new, they won't choose you if they sense you're always available, always seeking their attention. They'll keep looking for someone else, someone who isn't throwing themselves at their feet. Detaching yourself from the need for their approval makes you a mystery, and mystery is attractive. That's what gets them thinking about you, wondering why you're not chasing after them like everyone else. Now, what if you're trying to attract someone who seems distant? This is even more crucial. They're distant because they know you're always there. They don't feel the need to close the gap because you've made it too easy. The moment you pull back, the moment you stop making them the center of your world, is the moment they start to notice you. You don't need to be aggressive. You need to be absent in a way that makes them curious. Here's a metaphor for you. Imagine a dog chasing its tail. Round and round it goes, but it never catches it. That's you running in circles, chasing after their attention, and it's exhausting. They're just watching you, uninterested. But what happens if the dog stops chasing? The tail comes closer. They start to wonder why you're not running after them anymore. It's the same with people. Once you stop chasing, they start noticing you, creating a space for them to make a move. Now, I know it's tough. Detaching feels challenging because your emotions are involved. You want to be chosen. But here's the thing. You're not going to lose anything by stepping back. You'll only gain. It'll feel uncomfortable at first. You'll feel the urge to text them, check in, or do something to remind them you exist. But detaching isn't about cutting them off. It's about stepping into your own space, valuing your own time, and showing them that you're not dependent on their attention. Incorporating this into your life means finding things that matter outside of them. Focus on your goals, your passions, your well-being. Show them that your world doesn't revolve around them. When they see that, trust me, they'll start looking at you differently. You won't just be another option. They'll see you as someone strong, independent, and worth choosing. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is exactly what Stoic detachment is about. You can't control how they respond, but you can control how you act. And when you act with strength, when you detach from the need to be chosen, that's when they'll start seeing you in a whole new light. So here's what I want you to do. Close your eyes for a moment and repeat after me. I release the need for validation. Say it, feel it, breathe in that truth. You are in control of your own story. You don't need to be chosen to be valuable. You already have value. Now drop that affirmation in the comments. I release the need for validation. Let the universe know that from this moment on, you're no longer chasing. You're detached, powerful, and ready to let them see your worth. Because once you detach, you become someone they want to choose. Number 2, raise your standards and stick to them. All right, folks, let's talk about why you're not getting chosen. Let's discuss why they keep overlooking you, treating you like an afterthought, and choosing someone else. It's not because you're not good enough, it's because you've set the bar too low. You've been accepting the bare minimum and acting like that's sufficient. And you know what happens when you accept scraps? You get treated like a backup option, not a priority. Let me be straightforward. You need to raise your standards. If you're constantly tolerating less than you deserve, how can you expect them to see your value? When you act like it's okay for them to give you half-hearted attention, to flake on you, to disrespect you, you're showing them how little you value yourself. Why should they choose you if you don't even seem to value your own worth? You can't expect them to treat you like a gem if you allow yourself to be treated like an option. Let's be clear. You set the standards for how others treat you, and if those standards are low, they'll never feel the need to rise above them. But the moment you raise the bar, when you stop accepting behavior that disrespects your time, your energy, and your self-respect, that's when things change. Listen, if you're trying to attract someone new and you're constantly bending over backward to make them happy, stop. What you're showing them is that you'll accept whatever little effort they give. You're telling them, it's okay if you don't prioritize me, I'll still be here. But once you raise your standards, once you start demanding more, they'll have to step up or step out. And trust me, the right people will step up. Now, if you're trying to get someone who seems distant to choose you, raising your standards is even more important. Right now, they're distant because they know they don't have to put in any extra effort. They know they can keep you on the sidelines and you'll stick around. Why would they put in the effort if you haven't shown them that they need to? Raising your standards forces them to either rise to the occasion or fall behind. It's their choice, but you need to give them that choice by showing them you won't settle for less. Here's the thing. Raising your standards isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about deciding that you're worth more than half-hearted attention and mediocre effort. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and love are valuable, and you're not going to waste them on someone who isn't willing to match that effort. Raising your standards is about self-respect, and self-respect is magnetic. People are drawn to those who have a high sense of self-worth. Let me illustrate. Imagine walking into a luxury store, let's say a place that sells rare diamonds. Do you see the staff offering discounts? Do you see them begging for customers to come in? No. They know their worth. They understand the value of what they're offering, and they know that only those who recognize that value will make the effort to buy. You have to think of yourself in the same way. You are that rare diamond, and if you're constantly on sale, if you're constantly giving discounts to those who don't deserve you, you'll never attract someone who truly values you. It's time to stop accepting behavior that doesn't meet your standards. When they flake on you, don't chase after them. When they treat you like a backup plan, don't play along. You're not here to convince anyone of your worth. If they don't see it, then they don't deserve it. But the only way they'll start to see it is if you demonstrate that you won't settle. You need to understand something important here. When you raise your standards, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel like you're pushing people away. You're going to feel like you're making it harder for them to stay in your life. And that's exactly the point. You're filtering out the people who don't belong and making space for those who are ready to step up. Not everyone will meet your new standards, and that's okay. The ones who do, those are the ones worth keeping. And let me assure you, you're not going to lose anything by raising your standards. You're going to gain everything. You'll gain respect. You'll gain peace of mind. You'll gain people who genuinely want to be in your life, not just because it's convenient, but because they recognize your worth and are willing to meet you at your level. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This quote isn't just about actions or words. It's about how you allow others to treat you. If their actions aren't right, if their effort doesn't match your value, then it's time to say no. Stick to your standards. Don't lower them to make someone else comfortable. Here's what I want you to do right now. Close your eyes and say this affirmation: I deserve the best. Say it with conviction. Feel that truth settle deep within you. You are worth more than you've been accepting, and from today onward, you're going to raise the bar. You're going to show them that if they want to be in your life, they have to earn it. Now drop that affirmation in the comments. I deserve the best. Let the universe know that you're done settling. You're raising your standards, and from this moment on, you're stepping into your worth. Watch how they start to notice. Watch how they begin to see you in a whole new light. Because when you raise your standards and stick to them, they'll have no choice but to rise up to meet them. Number 3, build genuine emotional connections. All right, folks, let's talk about something that goes way beyond surface-level attraction. Building genuine emotional connections. If you want them to choose you over anyone else, it's not just about being the most attractive or saying the right things. It's about connecting with them on a deeper level, making them feel something real. Because here's the truth. Physical attraction fades, but emotional connection is what keeps someone invested. If you're not tapping into that emotional space, they'll always feel like something is missing. Now, let's be honest for a moment. Are you building connections with people, or are you just playing a game of trying to get them to like you? Because there's a difference. You can spend all your energy trying to impress them, trying to be who you think they want you to be, and still fall short. Why? Because you're not being genuine. You're not allowing a true connection to form. You're focused on their approval, not on genuinely getting to know them or letting them get to know you. If you're trying to attract someone new, especially if they're used to people fawning over them, you need to stand out by being authentic. People are tired of fake. They're tired of everyone saying the same things, doing the same things, and pretending to be someone they're not. The minute you drop the act and show them who you really are, the minute you make them feel seen and understood, you become irreplaceable. And I don't mean you spill your life story in the first 5 minutes. I mean you listen, you engage, and you open up at the right time, showing them that there's more to you than meets the eye. If you're trying to win back someone who seems distant, the same rules apply. They've likely distanced themselves because something about your connection no longer feels genuine to them. Maybe you've been too focused on keeping them interested rather than deepening the relationship. You've been playing this game of trying to win them over, but in doing so, you've stopped being real. People can sense that, and let's be real. Who wants to choose someone who feels like they're constantly acting or putting on a show? Here's where the wisdom of Stoicism comes in. As Marcus Aurelius said, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. What does that mean in terms of building genuine emotional connections? It means being real with yourself first. Stop pretending to be someone you're not just to gain someone else's favor. Be strict with yourself about staying authentic. Accept that others may not always understand or appreciate that. But trust me, those who truly connect with the real you will choose you every time. Let me illustrate. Imagine you're walking through a forest and you see two trees. One is tall with vibrant green leaves. The other is smaller with fewer leaves. The first tree looks impressive at first glance, right? But here's the twist. The tall tree has weak roots. A strong gust of wind could knock it over. The smaller tree, though, has deep roots. It's sturdy. It's resilient. Which tree would you choose to rely on during a storm? That's the difference between surface-level attraction and genuine emotional connection. The first looks good, but it's shallow. The second has depth. It's solid. That's what you need to be. A person with emotional depth. Someone they can lean on when things get tough. But how do you build these genuine connections? It starts with listening. Truly listening. Stop thinking about the next clever remark or how you'll impress them. Just listen. People crave to be heard. When you listen to them, you make them feel important. You make them feel understood. And when they feel understood, they start to open up. They start to let their guard down. That's when the real connection begins to form. Next, you need to be vulnerable. And I know vulnerability can be intimidating, but it's the foundation of any deep connection. It doesn't mean you have to share your deepest secrets right away, but it does mean letting them see the real you. Share your thoughts, your experiences, your fears, and your dreams. When you let someone into your emotional world, you give them the chance to connect with you on a deeper level, and that's when the magic happens. They start to see you as someone irreplaceable because you've shown them something real, something genuine. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, what if they don't reciprocate? What if I put myself out there and they don't respond the way I want? Here's the truth. You can't control how someone else feels, but what you can control is how you show up in the relationship. If they don't respond to your genuine connection, then they're not the right person for you. But most people will respond. Most people are craving authenticity. They just don't know how to ask for it. When you provide that, you stand out. You become someone they don't want to lose. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you want to be someone who builds real, lasting connections, then start acting like it. Be the person who listens, who engages, who shows up authentically. And if it feels difficult, if you're not used to opening up or being vulnerable, start small. Share little things about yourself. Pay attention to how they respond, and build from there. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Here's your affirmation. I create real connections. Say it, believe it, and write it down in the comments. Close your eyes for a moment and affirm it. Let the universe know that from this moment on, you're done with surface-level interactions. You're here for the real thing. You're here to build connections that matter, connections that last. Drop that affirmation in the comments. I create real connections. And let the universe know that you're stepping into a deeper version of yourself. Because when you build genuine emotional connections, you become someone they want to choose, not just someone they're considering. Number 4, maintain your independence and self-respect. All right, folks, we've covered detaching emotionally and building genuine connections, but now we're diving into something that's absolutely essential if you want them to choose you over anyone else. Maintaining your independence and self-respect. This is the foundation of everything. If you lose these two things, you lose the very essence of what makes you attractive, valuable, and worthy of being chosen. Let's be clear, Nobody wants to be with someone who has lost their identity in the relationship. If you've built your entire world around this one person, if your happiness, sense of worth and self-esteem are all tied to how they feel about you, you've sacrificed your independence and traded your self-respect for scraps of validation. It's a harsh truth, but it's the reality. And let me tell you, they see that. Here's the reality. People are drawn to those who have their own lives, their own passions, their own goals. Someone who doesn't need constant attention, approval or validation to feel whole. That's what makes you stand out. When you maintain your independence, you show them that your world doesn't revolve around them, that you're not sitting around waiting for their every move. And trust me, that's what makes them take notice. Now, if you're trying to attract someone new, they won't choose you if they sense you have nothing else going on in your life. It's unattractive. Think about it. Would you choose someone who drops everything the moment you give them a little attention? Someone who's always available, always waiting? You're more likely to choose someone who has their own path, their own direction. Someone who isn't just existing in the shadow of your life, but is thriving in their own world. That's independence. If you're already in a relationship and they seem distant, it's even more critical to maintain your independence. Maybe at some point, you started bending your life to fit around them, losing pieces of yourself along the way. That's when people start to take you for granted, because they know you'll always be there, no matter what. But when you maintain your own life, when you don't stop your growth just because you're in a relationship, they begin to respect you more. They realize that if they want to keep you, they need to match your energy. Let's break this down further. Independence doesn't mean shutting people out. It doesn't mean building walls around yourself and refusing to let them in. It means knowing that you have value beyond their opinion of you. It means continuing to work on your own goals, dreams, and passions with or without them. When you maintain your independence, you're telling them, I'm whole on my own and I'm not relying on you to feel complete. This also ties directly into self-respect. Respect isn't something you can demand from others. It's something you command by the way you carry yourself. If you don't respect yourself, why should anyone else? Self-respect starts with how you allow people to treat you. If you're constantly tolerating disrespect, if you're allowing them to treat you like an option, you're showing them that your standards are low, and when your standards are low, they'll never feel the need to rise up. Think about it. Imagine you're at a restaurant. You're paying for a premium meal, but the waiter brings you something half-baked, poorly seasoned, and just thrown together. Would you accept that? Or would you send it back and demand better because you know your money is worth more than that? Your self-respect works the same way. If you accept less than what you deserve, you're telling them it's okay to treat you poorly. But if you have self-respect, you won't settle for anything less than what you know you deserve. And let me be clear, self-respect isn't about being arrogant or demanding. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything that doesn't align with that worth. When you respect yourself, others start to respect you too. It's a natural law. They'll realize that if they want to be with you, they have to treat you with the same respect that you give yourself. But what if this feels challenging? What if you've already lost yourself in the relationship, or you're afraid that if you assert your independence, they'll pull away? Here's the thing. You might feel like you're walking a tightrope at first, balancing between keeping them interested and staying true to yourself. But the truth is, the more you cling, the further they'll pull away. The more you maintain your independence, the more attractive you become because you're showing them you're not afraid to stand alone. And people are drawn to that strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This directly applies to how you view yourself in relationships. If you think you need someone else to complete you, you'll always feel lacking. But if you understand that your value is inherent, that you're already complete, you'll radiate confidence and independence. That's the kind of energy that draws people in. So how do you incorporate this into your life? Start by focusing on you. Get back in touch with your own goals, hobbies, and passions. Spend time working on things that fulfill you, things that have nothing to do with them. Set boundaries. Don't let them treat you in a way that disrespects your time or energy. And most importantly, stop giving up pieces of yourself just to keep them around. You deserve better. Here's your affirmation. I am whole on my own. Say it, believe it, and write it down in the comments. Close your eyes for a moment and let it sink in. You are enough. You don't need their approval to feel valuable. You don't need their validation to feel important. You are whole, strong, and capable, all on your own. Let the universe know that you've reclaimed your independence and self-respect. Drop that affirmation in the comments. I am whole on my own. And let them see that you're no longer chasing, no longer bending, no longer losing yourself. You're stepping into your power. And from now on, they'll have to rise to meet your standards if they want to be part of your life. Number 5, communicate effectively and assert your needs. Let me tell you something real quick. Nobody is going to read your mind. If you're waiting for someone to suddenly understand what you need without ever saying it, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. You've got to communicate. You've got to express what you want, what you expect, and what you need if you ever want them to truly see you and choose you over others. Here's the thing. When you don't communicate, when you hold back, you're only creating frustration for yourself. You may think that being silent or easygoing will make you more likable, but it only leads to your needs being neglected. People respect those who have the courage to voice their needs and who set clear boundaries. If you're trying to attract someone new, you don't need to be passive, hoping they'll notice what you need. Be confident in expressing what you want. You don't need to be aggressive or demanding, just clear. People are drawn to those who know what they want and aren't afraid to say it. If you're already in a relationship and they seem distant, it's even more crucial. If you feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, say it. Don't let that resentment build up until it becomes impossible to fix. Being open about your needs doesn't push people away. It invites them to step up and meet you at your level. They can't meet your needs if they don't know what they are. Effective communication is a two-way street. It's not just about asserting your needs, but also about listening to theirs. When both people feel heard and respected, the connection deepens, and that's what makes them choose you. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one." Apply this wisdom. Don't waste time assuming they know what you need. Be clear, be open, and be honest. Here's your affirmation. I speak my truth with confidence. Say it, believe it, and write it in the comments. Let them know that you're done being silent. You're stepping up, expressing your needs, and showing them that you deserve to be heard. Number 6, showcase your growth. All right, folks, let's be clear. People are attracted to growth. If you want them to choose you over others, they need to see that you're constantly evolving, that you're not stagnant or stuck in the same place you were months or years ago. Stagnation is boring, predictable, and it won't make anyone chase you. Growth, that's exciting, magnetic, and it makes you irresistible. When you showcase your growth, you become someone they don't want to miss out on. Let me clarify. This isn't about throwing your achievements in their face or constantly bragging about how much better you are. That's not what real growth looks like. It's about subtly letting them see that you're always improving, always becoming a better version of yourself. You're not staying in the same emotional, mental, or even physical space. You're growing, and that makes you stand out. If you're trying to attract someone new, showing them that you're working on yourself is a transformative signal. It indicates that you value progress, someone who's not afraid to put in the effort to grow. That kind of energy is contagious, and people want to be around those who inspire them to be better. It's not about being perfect. It's about striving for constant improvement. Whether you're developing new skills, working on your mindset, or pursuing new goals, let them see it. It sends a message. I'm growing, and if you want to be a part of this journey, you'll have to grow too. Now, if you're already in a relationship and things have become stagnant or distant, this is where showcasing your growth becomes even more crucial. Maybe they've become too comfortable. Perhaps they're taking you for granted because they think you're just the same person you've always been. But once you start focusing on your personal growth, whether that's emotional maturity, career advancement, fitness goals, or even a new hobby, they'll take notice. They'll see that you're not someone who's content to stay stuck, and that kind of upward momentum will make them realize they either need to level up or risk losing you. But let's be realistic. Growth isn't always easy. It takes effort, discipline, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. You might struggle at times, and that's okay. The key is to keep pushing forward, even when it's tough. Growth isn't about the destination. It's about the process of becoming better day by day. It's not always about making giant leaps. Sometimes it's about those small, consistent steps that add up over time. And don't fret if you think they're not noticing right away. Believe me, they are. Growth doesn't have to be loud to be effective. People pick up on the energy of someone who's committed to bettering themselves. When they see that you're not stuck in the same old patterns, that you're focused on leveling up, it plants a seed in their mind. This person is going places. And trust me, nobody wants to miss out on someone who's constantly moving forward. As Seneca wisely stated, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Your growth is the start of something new. Every step forward makes you more valuable in their eyes. But remember, this growth isn't for them. It's for you. You're showing them and yourself that you're not defined by the past or your current circumstances. You're constantly evolving, and that's what makes you stand out from the rest. Here's your affirmation: I grow stronger every day. Say it, believe it, and write it down in the comments. Let them know that you're not staying the same, that you're leveling up, and that if they want to be in your life, they need to keep up with the person you're becoming. Drop that affirmation. I grow stronger every day, and watch how they begin to see you differently. Because when you showcase your growth, you make them realize that you're someone worth choosing, someone they can't afford to lose. Number 7. Avoid common mistakes that push them away. Let's be honest, sometimes the biggest reason you're not being chosen is because of the mistakes you're making that drive them away. It's not always about what you're lacking, it's about what you're doing that makes you less attractive in their eyes. If you keep falling into these traps, it doesn't matter how much you work on yourself. You'll keep pushing them further away without even realizing it. First, desperation is a deal breaker. Constantly seeking validation, texting too much, or trying too hard to be noticed only screams insecurity. People are drawn to confidence and independence, not neediness. Stop chasing them, because the more you chase, the more they'll run. Second, stop over-explaining yourself. Stop justifying every little thing you do. When you over-explain, you're overly concerned with their opinion. Instead, stand firm in your decisions and let your actions speak for themselves. Third, stop losing yourself in the relationship. Sacrificing your independence, goals, or friendships for them will only make you seem less appealing. They'll start taking you for granted, and you'll lose the spark that made you attractive in the first place. Lastly, playing games or being overly manipulative. Whether it's trying to make them jealous or acting hot and cold, people can see through this. It's not attractive, it's exhausting. Be authentic. Epictetus said, No great thing is created suddenly. Your connection with them won't grow if you're constantly pushing them away with these mistakes. Here's your affirmation. I stop pushing, I attract. Say it, believe it, and drop it in the comments. Let the universe know you're done with self-sabotage, and from now on, you're focused on attracting, not pushing them away. Now that you've learned these powerful Stoic techniques to make them choose you, it's time to take action. Remember, you're no longer chasing, no longer settling, and no longer making the mistakes that drive them away. You're stepping into your power and showing them what they'll lose if they don't step up. So if this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and share this video with someone who needs to hear these life-changing steps. Don't forget to drop your affirmations. I control my value in the comments, and let the universe know you're ready to be the one worth choosing.